Here we are on the Nations, going over the 21 different areas of Nashville, finding the vibes. You can find your tribe. So we're getting deep in the heart of the South, Georgia Avenue. Georgia, Georgia, always on my mind. So this is very typical of something you might find here in the Nations. They call them tall skinnies. Really cool, right? Gives that southern charm to it. You've got an upper porch, lower porch. Most of these, you'll see an A and a B. It's because you've got two of them that are dividing one lot. A lot of times the parking will be more in the back. Not all of them have parking. We've talked some about the flood of 2010, but it's just because that was such a defining moment for this area of Nashville specifically. There's just a revitalization. A lot of the old stuff kind of got wiped out, and with that there was tons of development dollars that came here and tons of new stuff. But fortunately, some of the older stuff is still with us. So like if we look across the street, we've got a little bit of charm here, beautiful front porches. What type of price point are we looking at? Your starting point is, looking at 1,200 square feet to around 2,000 square feet for some of these older homes, the 1920s to 1950s specifically. It's about 1,200 to 2,000 square foot, 2-3 bedrooms, some of them maybe up to 4 bedroom. Most of them are going to be 1 to 2 baths. And starting point for one that's going to need some work, you're looking at about $350,000. So in that $350,000 to $500,000 price point, obviously it can go up from there if it's a very nicely done renovation. And most of these houses through here, they do need a little bit of love, specifically cosmetic for some of the older homes, but they're very livable. I mean, the houses back here, it's not like these are just a bunch of, tear downs, or you're living with neighbors, that you don't want to live next to that aren't taking care of their place. There's people that are choosing to have a house that is older, that has some of the original character, some of the original charm to it, and they're melting pot right into some of the other houses here. Yeah, so like this house here. Who doesn't like the blue door on here, right? We've got a nice blue door. The stone on the outside, that's kind of a dead giveaway of a throwback. You don't see most new or modern houses that are built with a stone exterior. We've got a brand new construction that's right across the street, or newer construction, but still has a lot of the same character and charm. Like it's got a really nice front porch over here. Literally, you've got the white picket fence. I mean, what else can you ask for? And some of these lots, especially those that haven't been chopped up yet, where you've got 2 houses on 1 lot, some of these lots here are still pretty decent size, but some of the streets, specifically like Georgia Avenue, which we're on right now, or Alabama Avenue, like if you look across the street here, you don't have a sidewalk. And the walkability, when we're talking about to some of the coffee shops, can you walk there? Yes, but it's a stretch. Like I don't know what the temperature is out today. Definitely over 90 degrees. I would say closer to probably 95 degrees. I'm not walking down to a coffee shop from this street in jeans and shirts, not to say that you can't, but it's just a little bit more of a haul than you probably would want to do. So this is a great example on the parking situation. So this one happens to have some drive-up parking, and you can see in the back part of the lot. So a lot of these through here will have an alleyway. They'll have an alleyway through the back where you can have some parking in the back, or at least a rear entrance. So this one does have a cool little garage in the back, which is great. But a lot of these houses, like if you come across the street to this new construction here, they're parked right on the street. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Some of them will have yard parking. This is another 1920s to 1950s home over here. But you've got almost like a little front parking pad there. That's perfectly fine. Got a little shade underneath the tree. One thing that I hear people talk about sometimes when they're moving to a neighborhood or they're moving to Nashville, they're like, I don't want cookie cutter houses. So the Nations can be a little bit of a mixed bag, and it really depends on what street that you're on. Obviously this street, like if you look at, this almost has like a 70s charm. Like I want some flare bottom pants on right now just to feel like I'm worthy of standing in front of this house. So you know, almost every house is different along here, but there definitely is sections of the Nations where you can go from one street to the next street to the next, and you can't hardly tell what street you're on if you're just looking at the houses. So there is some streets where the similarities are glaring. You can almost get lost on the street, like, where am I at? Streets like Georgia Avenue, you're not gonna have that issue. Who's this? Who's this guy? His name is Lee Estes. So he's lived in the area, he was born in 1920, was 91 years old. Was known for his charity work at St. Luke's, did lots of stuff, you know, with kids there, which you'll see on the other side of the silo. They've got 2 kids there, but it just goes to tie in. So that was put up there around 2010. I'm sorry, the flood came in 2010. That was put up there around 2017. But it just goes to show, like, the industrial roots that are here, because it wasn't that long ago everything here was industrial. So they wanted something to be a memorial. So all of this was owned by Gillette, a company named Gillette, all of these silos, and they were getting ready to tear everything down. And they thought, why not do some sort of a memorial, like a throwback to the past, to show, hey, you know, these are our roots, these are where we come from, very hard working, blue collar people here. And he's the centerpiece of this Silo Bend mixed use community. So what do you have here? So this is a great example. We're talking about industrial. All of this back here, like, residents aren't allowed back there. That's all, you know, you've got more silos and just more commercial things that are going. That was this whole area at one time. But what's cool is mixed use. We've got some restaurants that's just right over here. Ate that last time that I was in the Nations area, really good. But you've got some apartments that are in the area. You've got some condos that are in the area, some townhome product. All right, we're continuing our series in the Nations. We had talked about some of the lesser expensive homes, those built in like the 1920s, 1950s that hadn't been remodeled yet. This is gonna be a little bit more of your typical, and some of these are being remodeled because there was a mass flood of houses that were built here at one point. I mean, they were being put up, they were almost falling over each other, tripping over each other to like get these things built up. So some of these are getting a little bit of a refresh because this is a very nice neighborhood. Average size for your average size houses are going to be more in like the 1,800 to 2,500 square feet. Most of those are going to be around 4 bedrooms. Some of them might be 3. You might squeeze 5, but that's going to be pretty rare here. I would expect mostly 4 bedrooms, and you're going to be looking at 3.5 baths for most of these in here. So what are you looking at price point? So online, if you did a search, it may say like 450 to 600. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. Can you find something at 450? You know, that's around 1,800 square feet. It's going to need a lot of work. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a project, then yes. But I think most people, if you're looking for something move-in ready, and again, this is July of 2025 that this is being filmed, you're going to be looking closer, you know, really starting at least 5, probably closer to 700,000. Definitely could creep into 8 depending on fixtures and if you're closer to that 2,500 square foot mark. Again, we're only about 15 minutes to get to downtown Nashville, and this is a really great community. It's a tight-knit community. They've got night festivals that take place a few times a year, and I mean, they've got food trucks that come, they've got artisans that come, they've got live music. So things like that tend to really help to bring a community together, and it does. Let's talk a little bit of some of the higher end. So if you're like, I want to be in the Nations, but I'm gonna need something a little bit nicer. So nicer to me in the Nations, that's gonna start at a 700,000 and can definitely go $1 million plus. Some of those, you know, you're looking at closer to 3,500 square feet. Definitely nicer things on the inside, nicer countertops, just higher grade. You're gonna have higher grade appliances instead of like these two here. This is a perfect example. So you've got these two here, which it looks like they probably are sharing a lot. Yes, I mean, the obvious sign is one of them is A, one of them is B. So, but you look right next door here at 5816, there is no A and B, because they're like, we're gonna take the whole dang thing for ourselves. And they did. And they built, you know, a really nice property here. You've got it fenced in. So when we're talking about, you know, the $1 million plus, you definitely do have that here in the Nations, and you don't have to have something tight where you know, you're sharing a driveway with somebody else, or we've talked about street parking. I don't know if you see this person's driveway, but there is no street parking here. I almost guarantee that they do have a garage back there, 3 stories, where most of the properties in the Nations are going to be more 2-story. They're going to be what you call, we call them here tall and skinnies, because they're tall and, you know, a lot of these are going to be around that 18-foot mark as far as width goes. They can be a little bit shorter than that. They can be a little bit bigger than that, but it's kind of a ballpark. You're looking at about 18 feet wide, and they're tall. Some other parts of the country, they call them shotgun houses, because, you know, you could have somebody standing at the back door and you fire a shotgun and it'll go, you know, through the entire house. You can literally see out the back. You can see the backyard through the front door, because it just goes, you know, straight. But, you know, you will find some character if you're looking for those 1920s to 1950s homes. But if you're looking for the stuff, especially some of the newer stuff that's been built, this is what it's going to look like. Most of them are going to be very similar to this. You've got another house over here to the left, but what you tend to see with some of these bigger lots, and that's a nice house there. I mean, it looks pretty nice, but it's on a zoning hearing, which means that that's on the chopping block to very likely get rezoned, and they may be able to build 4, at least 3, probably 4 on that lot. So they'll take a house that's, you know, I would say that house, looking at it, I mean, it looks like it's been kept in really good condition. Probably a 700 to 750 house. We'll see what it ends up selling for. If they can get it for 600 or sell it for 600, you're looking at $150,000 a lot, which is very reasonable for a pad for this area. This is for the people. This isn't because this is fun. Okay, I'm having no fun at all. So we are at West Park in the Nations, and I can't wait to show you guys around this, because it actually is really cool. This is part of that revitalized. We talked about post-flood, post-2010. This is part of that was built, and they went all out. Like when we walk around this park and you get to see all of the cool equipment. Guys, I'm like 300. And this thing ain't squeaking, it ain't budging, it ain't nothing, because we got high quality stuff here. But we got to get back to business, people. We can't just be playing all day. We got to talk about the area. So first of all, check out that mural, right? When we talk about the mix of the industrial with the local, I mean, everywhere you go, it's integrated in. You can't get away from the roots. But how beautiful is this? That they built this right around the West Park pumping station. But you've got a softball field that's back here. There was a guy that was almost in as good a shape as me, with his shirt off, running sprints up and down the field. Like, I was like, you go. I am huffing, walking out here, and I'm in decent shape. Yeah, so you've got the stones out here, little boulders. You can't really tell, maybe you can from the footage, but this is some of that, you know, like the rubber mulch that bounces real easily. I mean, this is super robust. And guys, we're out here in the middle of the day. This is July in the summer. We're here on a Monday afternoon, and there's like nobody out here. So it's not like it's super crowded. You don't have any excuses to not come out here. And this pavilion here, my birthday was not long ago. It's July 3rd, in case you want to know. I know you do. But we could have had my birthday right here, videographer, under this pavilion in the shade, and you know, had all 4 of my friends, and they would have had plenty of space to wander around here. So indoor restrooms. Yeah, you've got another field back here. So a lot happening here, folks, a lot happening. You could definitely play soccer out here. You could definitely throw a football out here. You could, somebody tells you to go fly a kite. You'd be like, you know what? I'm not offended by that. I'm going to West Park over near the Nations, and I'm gonna go fly a kite today for the joy of it, not because I'm offended by you and your statements. Thanks for checking out one of the 21 areas of Nashville. We really appreciate you taking the time to learn more about the different areas and enjoying the content. Be sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos. And also, we've got our contact information down below. If you need some help in one of these areas to search for a home or to find the tribe that you're looking for, we'd be happy to help you. Till next time.